everyone, it's Di here from Di's Den, and this week I'm going to show you how to make this card. It's a stepper card and it's not very easy to see, but it is a beautiful card and it sits up like so. You write on the inside. How beautiful is that in there? And I'm going to make another one using this daisy and the butterfly here. But I'm going to be doing this in Magenta Madness. So let me show you what we need for these. I'll pop these ones out of the way for a moment. Oops, get over there. The desk is getting quite full at the moment. Okay, so we're going to be using the Daisy Lane for the large daisy here and this small one and the smile. Probably going to use the best moments in life happen with you as well. In the butterfly gala, I'm going to use this butterfly set here. Now I'm going to have to draw these bits in, as I've lost one of them, so I'm going to draw them in using my Sharpie. And I'm going to be using the So Sentimental dies. Oh, excuse me, that was hard to pull open. These two small ones here, as they just look perfect on the front of this card. As you can see just here, that just looks absolutely perfect. I've already stamped and cut them out, but we will stamp them again and I'll show you what I did, because we know who will get those. So we get those, and we're going to be using the 2020-2022 in colour designer paper. So I'm going to be using this one. This is Magenta Madness, and it's got like a it looks a bit like tree rings and stuff like that on it. So we're going to be using that paper. So let's pop them out of the way and I will show you what we need. Okay, I have got my punches here. I've got my daisy punch, my butterfly gala punch, and I'm also going to be using the berry builder punch just for this leaf here. I'm not going to stamp it, I'm just going to cut it out. So as I say, I've got those there. So what we need for this card, and let me turn this over because I've got this all in order, is a card base which measures 8.5 by 6 inches. Then for our middle section of our card, we need a piece in our contrast colour, and I'm using white as my contrast today, which measures 3 1/8 by 3 7/8 by 3 1/8. Sorry, and then my designer series paper, which measures 3 inches by 3 3/4. Today I'm using a very small edge, only because I think that it would be overpowering because of the pieces. Okay, and then for my side pieces, I've got two, and these measure 3 1/8 by 7/8 of an inch, along with two pieces of designer paper that measure 3 inches by 3/4 of an inch, and that's where they're going to go. Then for my base piece along the bottom here, this measures 5 7/8 by 7/8 of an inch. And then my designer series paper measures 5 3/4 by 3/4 of an inch. For my insert, this is the part that's you really have to be careful with, because this measures 4 inches by 3 7/8 of an inch. I think that's the right way around. Yes, 4 inches high by 3 7/8 of an inch long. Now, if you were doing double insert, which I'm not because I'm using white, your second layer would be 3 7/8 inches by 3 3/4 inches. But as I'm using that, I've got a piece of the designer series paper that measures 3/4 of an inch by 3 7/8 of an inch, which I'm going to pop across the bottom like that. On my other one, I actually put it along the side, but I was silly because I didn't watch which way the pattern was, and I had already cut it and it wouldn't fit, and I didn't want to cut into another sheet just for that one piece. So if you're using designer series paper that is directional, cut this long piece first and then cut the others, so that if it's a 6 by 6 piece, otherwise you'll cut into your second piece and you're just wasting your card. So, and then, okay, for carrying on with that, for my saying, which I've already done here, you'll need a piece of card that measures 1.5 by 2.5, and another piece that measures 1.25 by 2.5, and then a piece of scrap for my green for my leaves, and then for my butterfly a piece of scrap and some more just for my daisy flower. Now, as I say, that's just how I'm going to be doing it. So first of all, what we're going to do is I'm actually going to stick all my pieces on so I know that I've got them all in the right angle, especially this one here. So I'm going to do that one, and we're going to pop all these on here first. If I do that, I know that I've got it the right way around, and then I won't go, I did it wrong, which I've done before. So I'm going to pop that piece on there like that, and we'll pop all these out of the way. Let's move that over there, and then we'll stick all these on, glue all these pieces on first. Then we know we have them all the right way and they're ready when we get that far. This is such a beautiful colour. Absolutely love this colour. And I just thought I would love to use my daisy punch again, and as I haven't used it for a while. And it's nice to bring out the ones that are just being left at the back of the cupboard a bit. So I just thought, right, time to use them, otherwise they'll retire and I wish I had have used them sooner. Not that I don't use things that are retired, as you know, I try very hard to use up so many things, and this year I'm going to use it session. So you will see quite a few items that are retired this year, and the whole idea of that is so that you can see that you can still get just a beautiful card out of what you've already got if you can't afford anything else. It's not always easy, I understand that. I'm finding it harder myself these days as I am now retired. So okay, so we're going to get onto our card, and this is what we need, and I'm going to bring in my trimmer. Now I'm going to lay my trimmer this way because it's easier for me to do this. So I'm going to push my cutting blade up to the top, and I'm going to put my piece of card with the long side facing me, so the short side is along the top, and I'm going to open it up, and I'm going to pop this in at the 1 inch mark on this side here, on this, which is the right hand side if you've got your card the right way around. And I'm going to bring my cutting blade down to the 1 inch mark on the side of the bar here. You will know whether it's lined up because there's a little mark down the side here, so we're going to pop that in there at the 1 inch mark, and then we're going to put our finger or thumb, whichever you like, at the 5 1/4 inch mark, and we're going to cut from that 1 inch mark down to the 5 1/4 inch mark. And then we're going to lift our card so we have this one cut line like this, and then we're going to move it across, and we're going to pop it at the 1 inch mark on the opposite side, and we're going to pop this back up to the 1 inch mark again, and holding this in here nice and tightly, we're going to pop that down, making sure it's better to be over that way and then come back to the 1 inch mark if you have to, and down to the 5 1/4 inch mark again. And that is what we need to do in our cutting, in our trimmer. Okay, now I'm going to show you something else. If you don't have or can't do it this way, you can always use a knife and a ruler. So you would use your pencil and you would mark down 1 inch from the top and 1 inch in from the side, and put a mark and go down to the 5 1/4 inch from the 1 inch to the 5 1/4, and then you would cut with your craft knife and do the same on the other side. So if you don't feel comfortable in doing it in the trimmer, you can do it that way if you'd like. Now I'm going to bring in my scoreboard and I'm going to pop my card in on the long side and with the 1 inch cut mark at this end. So there's the 1 inch there and there's the 5 1/4 just up here. I can't even see, I haven't got my glasses on today. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to score from the 1 inch here down to that cut line, which is 1 inch, and I'm going to do the same again from the 2 inch down to that 1 inch cut line, and then from the 5 1/4 down to that 1 inch cut line. So you have 1 inch, 2 inch, it's not really easy to see on this colour, and at the 5 inch mark, and you will see that they are within those lines. Turn it over so that your 1 inch mark is at the top again, and then score again from the 1 inch down to the 1 inch score line, and from the 2 inch down to the 1 inch score line, and from the 5 1/4 down to the 1 inch score line. I find that the easiest thing to do, and then turn it over, and then just from that line just push those lines back the other way so that they are all now facing the same way. We're also then going to go in here at the 4 1/4 mark, and from there we are going to come across to this line here, this cut line, and we're going to score through to the other cut line on the inside bit now. So you can see that this is actually not too bad to see in here. It's like we have 1 inch, 2 inch and a 5 1/4 inch on the edge, a 1 inch, a 2 inch and a 5 1/4 on the edge, and then a 4 1/4 line in the middle. That's all our scoring done. So let's move my scoreboard out of the way, and then I'm going to fold this. So we're going to fold this card with this outside line is going to be a mountain fold. This inside line is going to be a mountain fold. So very carefully so that you don't bend all the rest of your card. This inside line here, this 2 inch one, is going to be a valley fold. So we're going to push that up, and then our outside line, our 1 inch one, is going to be a mountain fold. So we've just given them a little bit of leeway like so, so that they will all fold nicely. Once you've done that, we can then push this down very, very carefully, and it will fold down beautifully. There we go. We have that all folded nicely now at our score lines, and they're all nice and flat. So there's the basis of our card. I think that's actually really quite nice. So now we're going to lay it flat again, and it's only because it's actually easier to do it plain flat. Ouch, now I've lost my pin. I don't know where it went, across the table somewhere. Never mind, I'll find it after. Oh, that hurt my finger. And we're going to glue our sections onto the card. So we're going to glue all of our sections onto the card front. So our middle section goes in the middle, obviously. Our two small sections, and if you've got a directional pattern, don't forget to make sure you've got them up the correct way. And this is the bottom of the card, so if it's directional, you need your pattern to flow this way. can't even see that pin. It's probably gone right off the edge of the table on the other side and onto the floor. And then we're going to pop our piece along the bottom here the same way. Okay, so that's all our pieces on the outside of our card, and now we can fold it back up again and it just looks absolutely gorgeous. So that's our card. Let's pop that on one side. I can't put the lid on my glue because I can't find it, and we're going to bring in our pieces that we're going to stamp. So I'm going to stamp my smile on this piece in Magenta Madness. And I will cut that out for Mum, but as I say, I've already cut it out, so I will cut out the two pieces for Mum at a later date. So I've already cut them out using those dies from the So Sentimental set. Let's pop that on one side for a minute, and I'm using my Memento ink. I'm going to stamp my saying, the best moments in life happen with you. Let me pop that as straight as I can. There we go. And while I've got that, I will actually stamp my butterfly. So while I've got the Memento open, I might as well stamp my butterfly, which I need to put on my other board. Please excuse all the mess on the top of my board. I like to make sure that I put a piece of thing around my piercing board so that it will protect my board. So okay, so that's done, and now we're going to pop the lid back on that one, and I'm going to remove that stamp from there for a moment, and I'm going to pop my daisy stamp on there, and I'm going to bring in a piece of scrap paper and stamp my daisy in the top corner over here. Wow, looks beautiful in that colour. Okay, while we're doing that, we will stamp the rest of our daisies, which we need 3 daisies, onto our piece of card. This piece of card is 8 1/4 by 3 inches, which is big enough for all 3 of those stamped on there. So that's done like that. We can put that away. And I do know that I forgot something, so you know what, I'm going to turn you off for a second and get that, and then we'll be back. Okay, back again, and I'm going to pop that just over there for a second so that it can dry, and I'm going to just draw in my bodies on my butterflies. There we go. As I've lost the bodies, so I'm going to use my light Magenta Madness for my little butterfly, and I'm just going to colour it all in like so. And then with my dark Magenta Madness, I will colour in the big butterfly. Oops. Now this is optional, as I say. This is just my interpretation of this card. I think this could look nice even as a man's card. So we might have to have a go at that later in the year. Or a different sort of stepper. There are so many different sorts of stepper cards, like centre stepper, like what we're doing here. And then there are side step cards, so there's plenty of different options that we can do. So I've got that done like that. Let's glue our insert into this card. And I still couldn't find my pin, so I don't know where it's gone. I'm going to have to hunt high and low in a moment. Okay, so there's our insert into the card. How gorgeous in that colour does that look? It's so bright and vibrant. I love it. Okay, so we'll pop that out of the way for a moment, and I'm going to cut out my leaves. So I have my leaf out of my strawberry builder punch, and I'm just going to cut 4 leaves out of the card, and this is in oh my goodness, Mossy Meadow. So I have 4 leaves cut out over here. Let's pop this rubbish in the bin, and we will cut out our 3 daisies using the daisy punch, and I'm using the large daisy punch. I didn't use the small daisy. I wanted a large daisy on the front of this card, so oops. And while we're doing our punching, we might just as well punch out our butterflies. And then with all our punching is done, oh my goodness, get in there. There we go. So we've got all of our bits already done now. So it's just a matter of assembly. So we're going to start with our daisy. We're going to just curl the petals up a little bit, being very careful not to pull them off, because nothing's worse than pulled off petals, unless you're doing a she loves me not, which we're not doing that today. Okay, so that's done there, and I'm bringing in my other board just so that I can then push the daisies up a little bit in the middle like so. And then I will turn them over and push them the other way. This gives them lots and lots of dimension, and I think they just look fantastic like this. So now we're going to glue our 3 layers together. I like my daisies very full, so I'm putting them together in sets of 3. It gives you more of a gerbera look, I think. And that's our daisy stuck together. We're going to then pull up our wings on our butterflies, and we're going to use the small dimension on the back of the little butterfly. Oops. Like a magnet that was, wasn't it? And pop it over the top of the big butterfly like so. And then we will use the 2 more small ones on the back of this, so that's ready to go. Oops, get over there. I'm going to put 1 large one in the middle of the back of the flower, so like so, and then we're going to glue our 2 pieces of our saying together, our tag. Like so. Alright, so now we're doing the, I'm going to put a couple of these large ones onto the back of here as well. There, like so. Alright. So now we're going to pop our card together. So for me, it's a matter of holding it down like this, and so I'm just going to use my ink pad so that it holds it down flat for a moment, and I'm going to put my daisy onto the front of the card like so. I'm then going to pop my saying on, because I want it on an angle, onto the bottom here like this. That way when I put my leaves in, which I can do next, I can turn that around this way, and I'm just going to give these leaves a bit of dimension as well, so that they don't sit exactly flat on the card. And so we're going to pop a bit of glue on the bottom part of the leaf here, making sure that we don't go off the top of the card. I'm potting my leaves underneath like so. We can come to the top, but we can't go over. If we go over the top of the card, it won't fit in our regular envelopes. So, and we want this to fit into a regular size envelope, and this will fit into a C6 envelope. If you would like the written tutorial for this card, please head over to my Facebook group, Diane for Stamping, Crafting and Tutorials. You will find the link below, so it will be there, and it's written in inches and centimetres, and it's Australian European sizing. We're going to pop our butterfly on the front here like so, and I'm going to then, I have these are retired, but as I said to you, I'm making a point that I'm using everything up. It's no good keeping it if you're not going to use it, or buying it if you're not going to use it. It's an expense for no reason. So I'm going to pop my little thing in the middle so that he looks like he's got a nice fluffy centre. This one I did with a pearl. These are not Stampin' Up pearls, they are just pearls that I picked up at the local craft shop, and I coloured one of those with my oh gosh, let me make it that thick, pumpkin pie blend pen to put on the top of that one. And this one I actually put the fluffy thing in the middle. This is not a Stampin' Up dragonfly. But that's my card for today. I hope you've enjoyed it. It's really easy. As I say, if you would like the tutorial, written tutorial for this, please head over to Diane for Stamping, Crafting and Tutorials. There you will find it. It's free to join. It is a closed group. If you would like, and you don't want to miss any of the other projects that I make, or any future ones, please subscribe to my channel here, and I will see you again next week. Bye for now.